former top gun of Tabung Haji firm charged with graft. Freelance journalists arrested in Kelantan claim authorities intimidated them. Hi, I'm Desiree Gasper and this is Cuppa News. A former CEO of a Tabung Haji subsidiary company was charged with 5 counts of criminal breach of trust totaling 2.57 million ringgit at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court. Datuk Nur Badli Munawir Muhammad alias Latfi was charged with using his position in TH Heavy Engineering Berhad to allegedly commit CBT via 5 cheques valued between 400,000 ringgit to 600,000 ringgit. Nur Badli claimed trial to all the charges and was released on 400,000 bail with 1 surety. He was also ordered to surrender his passport. Judge Madiha Harullah fixed the next date for mention on March 15th. Meanwhile, the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission or MACC revealed that more than half of those arrested for corruption in the last 3 years were aged 40 years and below.
54% daripada those been arrested the last 3 years kan 2,329, maknanya 1,267 adalah mereka yang berumur 40 tahun ke bawah. Itu yang kita concern lah. Dia pun berkait dengan environment juga sebab golongan muda yang kita tengok sekarang ni, especially Y generation ni, diorang selalu nak mengambil jalan mudah, jalan singkat kan. Sebab itu yang kita pun kena terapkan ni di semua peringkat lah untuk kita menyebar luas mesej pencegahan rasuah.
Calling the data alarming, Shamsun said MACC would shift their focus and aim to engage more with the youth this year. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Police believe that the lone robber who stormed into a bank armed with a gun in Kedah could have done so to replace 120,000 ringgit that he stole from his company. Police, who later uncovered that the robber was in fact a manager of a security company, said that the company had lodged a report the very same day on the missing cash.
Audit security company tadi telah buat auditing dia dan ada kehilangan about 120,000 plus. So I think due to that, desperate act untuk replace balik duit yang diambil.
Asri said that investigations revealed that the robber, also a former army veteran, was a weapons expert and had various types of ammunition at his home in Sungai Lalang, Bedung, including components of a dismantled M16 rifle and homemade pump gun. The father of 2, who has no previous records, is now being investigated for attempted murder, possession of weapons and ammunition, and for criminal breach of trust. 2 freelance journalists arrested in Kelantan on January 24th claimed they were intimidated by state forestry officers during their coverage of an Orang Asli blockade there. Jules Rahman Ong and Tu Chi Hang said they were surrounded by more than 20 officers who shouted at them at the Matau Chawas blockade near Gua Musang.
While we were filming, they came up towards the blockade and saw us filming and tried to stop us from filming, and then they shouted at us, and then they tried to take away our equipment, our camera. So we tried very hard not to let them take our camera. They're saying stuff like, "You're stupid, you're not supposed to be here, bodoh," and I mean, those words were just uncalled for. One of them, I think the head of the operation, was just shouting like 1 inch from my face.
Since September 2016, hundreds of Orang Asli in Kelantan put up blockades near Gua Musang to put an end to logging that's been going on in their ancestral homeland for decades. Ong said he didn't see any policemen when they were arrested. The journalists were handcuffed, their equipment taken and the blockade about them torn down. They were put into cars and driven away. Tu Chi Hang said he was threatened.
He started asking me if I know who Bruno Manser was. He asked me do you know what happened to him? Went on to allude that he was murdered, which we all know he was murdered. I'm pretty sure he was murdered by some. He basically told me not to be like Bruno Manser because a lot of very powerful people are involved in it.
Bruno Manser was a Swiss environmentalist who helped Aborigines in Sarawak during the 1980s to make logging blockades there. He went missing in the year 2000 and is believed to be dead. State forestry officials did not wish to comment on how the journalists were treated.
My direction to my officer is follow the standard operating procedure, and the journalists can express their views in the court.
Both journalists were arrested under Section 47 of the National Forestry Act. If found guilty, they can be fined up to 10,000 ringgit, jailed up to 3 years, or both. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak has said that he does not want ministries to use the excuse that they did not have enough funds, especially when dealing with projects for the people. Najib said that the Ministry of Finance must ensure that all operating ministries did not face such constraints.
Alasan duit tak sampai lagi ataupun bajet tak cukup selalu dijadikan luahan ataupun alasan sama ada tepat ataupun tidak. Ini saya harap kita semua beri perhatian yang serius supaya tidak dijadikan alasan oleh mana-mana operating ministry tidak memulakan program ataupun projek mereka dengan alasan duit belum sampai ataupun duit tidak cukup.
On a separate matter, Najib also said that the country was heading towards a stronger financial position this year thanks to the positive upward trend of oil and other major commodities. Police unearthed about 38 foreign female guest relation officers in Ipoh who were hiding in underground rooms which had metal doors with hydraulic locking systems. Police took several hours to locate the hidden rooms, which were equipped with mattresses, air conditioning and even food supply. Officials from the Bukit Aman Special Tactical Squad, Anti-Vice Gambling and Gangsterism or STAG even had to enlist the help of the Fire and Rescue Department to pry open the doors. Thousands of commuters were delayed during the rush hour this morning following disruptions to the LRT service between Gombak and Damai. Rapid KL via its Twitter account said that the delay was due to a train that had failed between the Sri Rampai and Setia Wangsa stations. The faulty train was eventually removed and service resumed at around 10:30 a.m. Meanwhile, in Butterworth, Penang, an unemployed man and his companion were charged with illegal possession of drugs, weapons and explosives at the Sessions Court. Teo Boon Seng and Yeo Seok Tiang were charged with possession of a sickle, 4 pipe bombs, 8 rounds of live ammunition and also possession of heroin. The man, who has 6 previous records, is believed to be a bomb specialist. Sessions Judge Nur Hayati Muhammad Yunus fixed February 2nd for mention.
All New Yorkers for all! No ban, no wall! New Yorkers for all! No ban, no wall! New Yorkers for all!
Activists in New York denounced White House plans to temporarily stop receiving refugees and suspend visas for people from 7 Middle Eastern and North African countries.
Across this country, we see the darkness that Donald Trump's cabinet will bring. We see executive orders that will strip our neighbors of their rights. We see orders that will target people because of their faith, and we say no. New Yorkers will not be silent. We will not stand by and let this happen. We will stand up and be heard.
Listen, if you honor the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, then all of you have an obligation. Whenever you see a government that is lawless, you've got an obligation and a duty to do what? Resist! 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 Resist!
Less than a week into his presidency, Trump has moved aggressively to put his stamp on a range of policies, including withdrawing the US from the TPPA. Melbourne mother Natasha Corrigan has welcomed a big bundle of joy with the birth of her 6.06 kilogram baby boy, Brian Jr.
I think I was in a bit of shock, because the birth was natural and I only had gas, so I was still in a bit of shock.
According to local media, Brian Jr. was born on Tuesday at 40 weeks and 5 days and could be the heaviest newborn in Victoria. A rooster made out of over 200,000 Lego pieces will be the highlight of Hong Kong's Chinese New Year parade this year. The territory's tourism board commissioned certified Lego professional builder Andy Hung to create the 2-meter-tall statue.
其實因為我覺得咧，如果係能夠用到呢個LEGO 嘅零件咧，去做出一啲係大家好有共鳴感啦，好東方色彩嘅東西咧，係會令到啲觀眾咧係更加多啲共鳴感啦，同埋會覺得LEGO 呢個創作係非常之 amazing。
The float was unveiled to the media ahead of the parade on Saturday.
And that's all we have today. Good night.